I want to thank everyone for coming, especially the speakers and the players too. Thanks for coming out. We really appreciate it. I'm going to break up my part of the presentation into three things. One, my path of how I got here in my career, and then the soccer portion as the assistant here, and then the education part. So I was a young 17-year-old when I got here back in 2002. And kind of like Jerry, I stumbled upon John Carroll. Luckily, I had gotten to the point in my playing career where I had been getting recruited by the Akrons and Indianas and Dukes of the world, and I didn't know if I wanted to play at the next level, meaning college. And having a foreign father with a very strict soccer background, that was a tough conversation, but we came to an agreement that I would play, and it was honestly the best decision I ever made. Now, how did I end up at John Carroll? A bunch of my friends were here that I did play club with, older guys, and I came with my high school roommate who turned into my high school teammate who turned into my roommate here for 4 years as well. So I showed up at JCU at 17, played all 4 years. We went to the NCAA tournament 2 of the 4 years, went to the OAC final all 4 years. My freshman year, we lost to the eventual national runner-up. So that was that final could have went either way, and I still wonder to this day how far we would have went with that team. But sophomore year, we were lucky enough to go to the Sweet 16 with 3 starters all having end-of-the-year injuries within the first month of the season. So we persevered, we got through that, did really well. Junior year, we lost in the final, and senior year, we won the OAC regular season and the tournament, which we call the OAC double. And we got to host the NCAA tournament, which was the last time we hosted, Coach, until this year. So it was 2005. Moving on to the soccer portion of how I feel in regards to the recruiting and what we've done as a program. You know, all those guys in the back of the room, and including Jerry, they all could have played D1 soccer. Okay, I could have played D1 soccer. There's a lot of us who could have played D1 soccer that came through those doors in that locker room. But we were all smart enough to understand that life after soccer was more important than the soccer. And I know that sounds weird coming from the coach, but at the end of the day, it's the honest to God truth. And it's so important to understand what the education at John Carroll can do for you after you graduate from here, coupling in a great soccer experience, hopefully a lot of success in the field, a few more of these, and all that good stuff. But at the end of the day, it's very difficult for 16, 17, 18-year-old guys to understand it. So hopefully you heard what Jerry said, you heard what Jesse said, and now you're hearing what I'm saying. Again, you're not going to find 2 more competitive coaches in the D3 level than Hector and I, but at the end of the day, our value of winning takes a very far back seat to what our education and what the experiences the guys have here do for their futures. And that goes from player 1 to player 45. Okay, team managers, anybody who's part of our program as part of our soccer family, that goes for every single person. And that John Carroll education within the experience of the soccer program does that for you. Okay, and again, that kind of goes together with my soccer portion and my education portion. But again, I think a lot of times a 17-year-old kid will look at a D3 institution and say, I'm better than that. I can go play D1, I can go do this. And maybe you can, and so could have we. But can that institution do what it does for you at John Carroll academically and again career-wise? And I think that's the more important piece of the puzzle. So again, for the guy, we have a few guys that are already committed. The guys who aren't, the biggest piece of advice I'm going to say to you today is choose the school you go to and take soccer out of the equation. Okay, forget Hector, forget Decky, forget those guys in the back. What is John Carroll going to do? What is the school X, school Y, school Z? Okay. Take soccer out of the equation and pick your school based on the academics and life after soccer. Soccer is a bonus. I understand it might be a close second to that number 1, but that number 1 is number 1 for a reason. Okay? Anything else, Coach?
That's it. Any questions for Dan? No.